Okay. I'm probably gonna be in a whole different kind of funk this time. Because after playing Resident Evil 4, I was like, I gotta watch this fucking taste out of my mouth. And I bought a whole bunch of the good Resident Evil games. I got Revelations 2, and then I was just like, fuck it. And I bought pretty much all the Resident Evil games I don't already own. And I do already own Revelations 1 on the Wii U, but it doesn't control super great, so I was like, fuck it, and I bought it on the PlayStation 3, so I can play it on that. And then I got, like, Dark Side Chronicles and Umbrella Chronicles HD on the PS3 also. And Resident Evil 5. I've played Resident Evil 5 to completion, but I didn't own it because I didn't really like it at the time, but playing Resident Evil fucking 0 made me go like, man, it made me like reevaluate my opinion on fucking the whole series. Like, man, did all the games I thought were bad really all that bad? Like, I used to think Code Veronica was the worst Resident Evil game, but after playing Resident Evil 0, I'm like, can I really? Like, seriously? Was I fucking high? Like, I still don't think Code Veronica is any good. Oh, god damn it, I hate when I fucking do that. I still don't think Code Veronica is all that great, but it's not worse than fucking Resident Evil 0. And I was like, man, like, I thought Resident Evil 5 was very good, but Resident Evil 0 is giving me this existential crisis of, like, goddamn. And so, mostly I've been playing Revelations 2, and that game's fucking amazing. So that's all up in my head. So I'm like, I need to finish this now, or I'm never gonna get around to it because I got all these other games, and before I know it, I'm gonna be burned out on Resident Evil, because that's what happens with me. I'll, like, you know, get super obsessed or hyper-focused on, like, a single franchise, and then I burn out on it. You know? And, like, you know, I said it before, like, I used to be way into Resident Evil, like, in terms of the lore, as a kid. But, like, when I think, like, you don't generally think of Resident Evil, like, some people might, I guess. And I'm going to argue, like, blah, blah, blah. You don't normally think of Resident Evil as a seminal franchise in gaming, you know? You don't really typically, it's not really the first thing that comes to people's minds when they think of game franchises that are, like, you know, really huge or whatever, you know? For whatever reason. Even though, like, when you sit back and think about it, like, it kinda is. Like, it's especially for me in a weird way, even though, like, I hadn't actually played very many games in the series until I was an adult. I did, like, really get into it in terms of the, I won't say expand the universe, but I mean, like, the fluff. Like, I had that big Resident Evil Archives book. I got a couple of the novelizations by S.D. Perry. And I actually bought game manuals for all the games, and I would read them, and back in the day, not manuals, but, like, guides, you know, like, perma games guides, and back in the day, those were, like, really flavorful, and had a lot of, like, you know, like, character to them. And so, I was really into the series in kind of a secondhand kind of way, and it gave me this appreciation for the story or whatnot. Oh man. There's a lot of, like, optional things to do, like semi-optional things to do in the laboratory, so now I'm like, wait, where do I go to do the thing that I need to do, and where's the thing that... Hold on, holy shit. Okay, through here is where Chris is, and in Chris's game that's where Jill is, and you gotta get you need the MO discs so you can open it up. And that's what fucks you up, because the first MO disc was in the tiger statue, and if you didn't get that, basically you're not gonna go back and get it, so that person's dead. Okay, I'm not gonna pick up any of these fucking... Oh, Ada! Look at that! In Resident Evil 2, Leon finds Ada, and she's looking for this guy. Which is funny, because he didn't even, like... By the time Ada shows up in town, by the time the Raccoon City incident happened, this guy's been dead for months. Like, the Raccoon City incident happens in September, and this game takes place in, like, July. So, John's been out of the picture for a while. So, Ada, you're, kinda dragging your feet on that one, homegirl. How do I open these doors? Oh, wait. Fuck. Also, this is the part of the game that I have, like, the least orientation in my head for. Although it's the shortest. Not even if you know what you're doing. Like, it's the smallest area of the mansion. It's just where a lot of important plot shit happens, and there's a lot of backtracking. Here we go. And it's in the original game. Oh, and the X-rays are supposed to give you the clue about what this is, but that's really tedious, so fuck it. In the original game, there would be a little graphic of Chris or Jill's hands typing on the computer to enter all this stuff in, and that was really charming, because Jill types like a fucking human being, and Chris just chicken pecks, and it's really funny. Get where the third MO disc is. I think it's upstairs. Phew. It's like, the other thing it reminds me of is another Capcom game, but it's Mega Man. Like, when you think of, like, gaming icons, Mega Man is not usually the first person to come to mind, but, like, when you sit back and think about it, like, Mega Man is a fucking icon of gaming, like, up there with fucking Mario, I would say, you know? But because they're not, like, the face of a company or a mascot or of anything, but they are important, you know? When the fuck? Okay. The recent T-virus outbreak. Yeah, because half of fucking Ada, Wesker, and like 12 different other people started trying to steal Umbrella secrets immediately after this happened. Okay, so this paints a different picture of how this outbreak situation went down, I guess. Really? Okay, that makes things confusing. I'm not even gonna go into that right now. These used to look like GameCubes in the original version, but they changed that. We'll be coming back here, you might remember. And it's super weird because, like, Resident Evil does kind of have this rich lore. Not rich, but, like, it does have an overly convoluted lore to it, and a lot of memorable characters. You'd think they'd do more with the franchise, because, like, there's very few games in the series, and not a lot of the characters got a lot of screen time in all of them. Here we go. It's one of those things where, like, you don't really realize it until you sit down and really think about it. Cerberus. So, like, yeah, they literally, like, it wasn't just dogs got infected by the T-virus, like, they were taking dogs and injected them with the T-virus as part of tests. Same with the sharks, because some asshole was like, hey, let's build a shark tank. The Hunter, the only good thing Umbrella ever made. The Tyrant, overrated. Oh, shit. Oh, no. I like 8462. I like how even as a scientist, Wesker fucking wore sunglasses at nighttime inside 84. I literally just saw it. Wesker just wears sunglasses at all hours of the day. You'd think that would kind of, make some difficulties while he's handling test specimens and whatnot, but I guess not. Oh hey, remember that shit we picked up literally 10 hours ago?
What? Get away from me! No! Hey! No!
And so there's the secret of Kenneth's death. He went out like a fucking bitch. I forgot he had a voice actor. You'd think they'd have taken the opportunity to shove in a little bit more foreshadowing or retconning into this game. Not really retconning, I guess, but like more details of stuff that happened later on in the series. Like, I don't think Birkin gets mentioned anywhere in this game. And that seems like a missed opportunity, considering he was in RE2 and the Wesker files established him and Wesker were buddies. Oh, god damn it. Fuck you, Fly. I'm just saying, like, you think they'd have taken the opportunity to throw in a file somewhere in here that talks about Birkin. Where the fuck was the third MO then? Oh wait, I have all three. Where was the, okay, there's one in here. Here we go. I like how technically Jill has no idea why she's doing this. It's just like, eh. That always happens in these games where, like, you pick up the thing for the fetch quest before you even find out that there's something that requires a fetch quest. Like, in Revelations 2, there's a part where, like, some characters like, follow me, and I'm like, fuck you, I want to explore, and so I explore the area, and I find a battery, and it's like, this is an obvious quest item, but I haven't gotten the quest to find the battery yet. So the character literally just, like, picks up a battery and is like, yeah, might as well bring it with us. You never know. Reminder that technically Jill's whole goal here is to try and find an escape route, and she just keeps going deeper and deeper into the lab here. For no real reason. I mean, I'm sure we're supposed to, you know, impose upon her that, like, oh man, I'm investigating this shit, I just found out Wesker's worked for Umbrella as a scientist making the T-virus and all this shit, and there's a traitor, and oh my goodness. Like, the games always sort of assume that you're picking up and reading every file, which is funny, because if you don't, the characters still have the knowledge of all the files that you didn't pick up and read in cutscenes and whatnot. Damn, seriously? Like in Resident Evil 2... Oh my god, I'm gonna sneeze. Where the fuck's the third MO disc thing? I think it's through here? Maybe? I forget. Son of a bitch. Because I want to talk to Chris before I go down the fucking elevator. Yeah, I don't need to tell you that if you don't have an infrared rocket launcher and if you don't know what you're doing, this area is fucking scary. You're going through fucking hell, and all these fucking Lord of the Flies motherfuckers be jumping out, be fucking with you. Like in Resident Evil 2, there's a whole bunch of scenes where, like, Claire will talk about the G-virus to people, and if you haven't been reading the files and shit, you're like, what the fuck's the G-virus? Claire knows because she read all the files that she didn't actually read. Somehow. God damn it, why am I doing this? I'm just gonna have to backtrack. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. It makes me worry though, because like Remake 2 is gonna happen, they've confirmed that, although they could take it away at any point, because they're Capcom. But they have set, like, assuming best case scenario, they do end up making Remake 2. I'm really worried. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I'm worried that they're going to make it in the style of Resident Evil 4 and Revelations and whatnot. Can't skip this, that's really annoying. So yeah, this is actually supposed to be really tense, but I have cleared the route. I talked about this in the speedrun. But if you're playing the game like you're kind of supposed to play it, and by not killing zombies and whatnot, like, it comes pretty tense. Like, it's like a minute walk, but it's still like, oh my god, oh, you know? Anyway, so they're doing Remake 2, and I'm worried that, because ideally, I would want it to be Remake 2, you know? This, but with Resident Evil 2. But I'm worried that it would be, you know, Revelations, but Resident Evil 2, you know? Yeah, I'm yellow. I might as well. I did, like, best case scenario is they give you the option of, like, go into the options menu and be like, fixed camera angles or over-the-shoulder camera angles. That would be, like, I even talked about, like, it would be kind of cool if they put that into this, where you could have an over-the-shoulder style camera for this game. And again, you don't need to have, like, manual aiming like Revelations and RE4 had. You can just have it be, like, shooting the way it is in this, but that over-the-shoulder camera would be an interesting way to go through this game, but I wouldn't want it to be the only way. If between, you know, cinematic camera angles or over-the-shoulder, I would prefer cinematic camera angles. Especially if it's going to be pre-rendered backgrounds, which it should be. I didn't see this in the speedrun.
Jill?
Chris,
We left him to
you're
die.
alive.
Of course I'm alive. Jill, there's something big going down, and I don't think we're part of the equation.
Actually,
I
we
have to get you
are.
out of
We
here.
are part of the equation. We were specifically lured
It
here.
won't open. Wait, I'll be back to get you out.
Okay, no sightseeing, though.
Okay. Chris, I know the whole plot going on here, okay? Don't act like it. How did Chris end up becoming the main character of fucking Resident Evil? It's so annoying. Chris is, like, provably the inferior character to play as. Like, he has less inventory space. He doesn't have Barry helping him out. And, like, somehow, for some reason, he got slotted as, like, the main protagonist of the Resident Evil series. As, like, Wesker's main nemesis. When it's, like, Jill is the character that is the best. Jill's the best, way better, I just don't... Chris sucks. And it sucks that he's, like, for some reason, the fucking protagonist of the franchise. Like, if you played Jill's campaign, Chris spent the entire game in a fucking cell, and yet, for some reason, by the time we get to RE, fucking 5, Wesker's like, Chris! Although, to be fair, he did totally kidnap Jill, and use her as his mind puppet. Sex slave. There was probably some sexing going on there, just saying. Oh man, I was thinking about that too, like, it's... I was thinking about, like, Resident Evil has, like, some of the best female characters in gaming. Like, it has a lot, for one. Like, half of the characters in Resident Evil are female. They're all great. I defy you to name me one female character in Resident Evil who's not great. Well, one who's bad, you know? Like, there's a couple that are like, I wouldn't put you up there in the upper echelons, but they're not a bad character. And, like, obviously Claire's the best, but Jill is always gonna be my favorite. Because, like, she's had a lot of different designs, and I've liked all of them. And it's funny, like, thinking about her hair. Like, I was thinking about her hairstyle, too, because, like, in the original game, like, PlayStation game, she had long hair, like, shorter, like waist-length hair, and it was all just tucked up inside the beret, and at the very end of the game, she would take the beret off, and her hair would fall down, and it was all long and stuff. But in RE3, she has this style hair, like, this is her RE3 costume. And then in Resident Evil 5 era, she had a ponytail that completely pulled her hair back. And then in Resident Evil 5 proper, she had blonde hair, because Wesker experimented on her, because reasons, and that completely, like, took away all of her pigmentation. Like, she's practically a blonde albino in that game, because of being experimented on. But in this game, like, supposedly her hair looks like this, even with the beret on. Like, this is just supposed to be her with the beret off. But if you go back and watch that opening FMV where they're running through the forest and whatnot, if you look really closely, you can see that she actually has a little tiny ponytail. Go back to the first video and, like, pause it while they're running, and her hair's flapping behind her, and look very closely. You can see she's got a little teeny tiny ponytail on. I think that's really funny. I'm tempting the fates by not saving, but whatever. This is pretty much the end of the game, so we're just gonna keep hard rolling here.
Jill!
Barry,
You could have at least waited up for me, you know?
Shut up.
let's go.
By the way, Chris is our old partner, you know, and he's in a cell downstairs. Not gonna talk about that. It was an awkward elevator ride where no words are exchanged.
Wesker!
Thank you, Barry.
Well, what do you know?
Oh, don't blame Barry for everything. I hear that his better half and two lovely daughters will be in
Moira.
danger if he doesn't do everything I tell him to.
Wesker, you're pathetic.
Well, you shouldn't worry too much, dear. You'll be free of all this anyway.
Why eliminate stars?
What?
Believe it or not, that's Umbrella's intention.
You're just a slave of Umbrella.
Smart girl. But I think you misunderstand me. The things you mention are nothing.
What?
I'll burn all of them along with this entire laboratory.
I didn't mention any things.
Barry, go up on the ground and wait there.
I think they're having
Barry.
two different conversations
You gotta
with each
love
other.
Barry. He must really be afraid of Umbrella.
You and Umbrella took his family. You bastard. Oh,
Kim slap.
Umbrella? Well, I used some carrots and sticks to cow him, but it had nothing to do with Umbrella.
I don't understand what's going
I
on
just
here.
used Barry for my personal
The original game's
interests.
cutscene of
Though
this
both
is
you and
way
Barry
more
seemed to think I
entertaining.
was following Umbrella's orders.
what? What are you planning?
I'm planning to inject
I
myself
guess
with an
it's time
experimental
for show
virus
and
and then
tell.
fake my death, so that the virus will activate and give me superpowers. To be fair, the Tyrant is pretty badass, even though, kind of a huge flaw in its design there, with its fucking heart being external. I mean, kind of a big, obvious target, you know?
It's magnificent.
For the sake of this thing.
You know, I hate goodbyes.
What? Ugh.
Barry!
Forgive me.
Forgive
No, you're not to
me.
blame.
No,
It's
fuck
Umbrella
you.
and
This
Wesker.
game's voice
Even if
acting
it meant
is
my
terrible.
family, I couldn't bear turning my back on my friends again.
Again?
Shit!
This is comedy, but not in the funny way like the original games was. This is just like bad because they're trying, you know, like this is an earnest effort. Anyway,
Damn it!
shoot it.
Jill and Barry together. In hell.
Is it like a shark or something?
You want a piece of me?
What? Premature.
No, Barry! You viral cultured freak!
Yeah. What a pathetic way to die. He's holding himself. Although, let's see. Oh yeah, okay, here, yeah. They don't mention a Birkin here. Are they talking about Resident Evil 4? They can't possibly. Wait, this was a breakthrough that would change the future of the BOW's history. Okay, yeah, okay, that's exactly what I was talking about.
Barry! Barry! You're okay.
Jill, sorry. That was careless of me. Wesker.
He's gone.
Dun dun dun.
First, let's just get out of here.
Okay, so that's super non-canon. Okay, let me try and lay this down for you, because there's actually no version of this game's ending that's technically canon. Because the canon ending of the game is Wesker gets fucking stabbed by the Tyrant, which I think happens either in the bad version of Jill's campaign or the bad version of Chris's campaign. I don't think it happens in the good version of either of their campaigns, but I forget. And then all four of them, Jill, Barry, Rebecca, and Chris, all escape alive. Even though in Chris's campaign, Barry doesn't exist, and in Jill's campaign, Rebecca doesn't exist. And also, this totally didn't happen. Wesker, you know, like, was stabbed and he's dead. He doesn't escape. Like, this is the most non-canon part about this, because he's supposed to have been stabbed through, and then his death is what activates the experimental virus, and then he escapes while the self-destruct sequence is going off. But again, like, him getting stabbed only happens in Chris's campaign, where Barry doesn't exist, and Barry exists only happens in Jill's campaign, where Rebecca doesn't exist, and Rebecca is the one who sets off the self-destruct, and also, like, Wesker escaped alive. It's very confusing. What the hell? It's very confusing. Anyway, we're gonna go save Chris here. Like, I think it was either, I think it was Umbrella Chronicles was the game that, like, got the closest to trying to show the canon version of what the hell happened in the conclusion of the mansion incident here, but none of the games really get it in terms of how it affected future games in the series. Yeah, in the bad endings where Barry dies, you get the master key from Wesker's body, and so you can come back and unlock the store, so you can save Chris.
Sorry about the wait.
And escape even in the bad ending where Barry dies.
Well, almost. Now let's get the hell out of here.
I'll explain it to you later. It's really stupid. Also, for some reason, Wesker's gonna become your primary antagonist, even though you had nothing to do with it.
All personnel must evacuate immediately. Deactivating.
Like, when he shows up in Code Veronica, he pimp slaps Claire Redfield around because he wants to get back at Chris. Anyway. So we're coming up on the end here. And...
Come on, let's go.
And in the speedrun, Jill was all alone and it was depressing, but this is my favorite part about getting the good ending of this game, is where... Let me get there first. Fuck off, Crimson Heads. You're super annoying. And you never show up anywhere else in the series. Yeah. We getting out. Yeah, we're good.
All personnel must evacuate immediately. Deactivating and releasing all.
Here we go.
Come on, hurry!
Jill straight up gets a little fucking harem going on here with the two big boys following her around. And nothing happens because you never actually encounter any enemies during this minor stretch here. But it is really amusing.
This is Brad. I'm running out of fuel. If there's anyone alive, contact me now or just give me a sign.
Man, you gotta hand it to Brad. He may have abandoned them, but he has been hanging out for like hours and hours now. Again, here they are. Yeah, follow me around, bitches. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Self-destruct system has been activated.
Oh shit, where the fuck?
Personnel must evacuate immediately.
So yeah, this is something Resident Evil always does, where like, you need to have an item to open up the end of the game, so that it's a guaranteed open item slot for when you need to get the rocket launcher to finish off the boss.
Damn it! We're almost there! Jill, you just get in contact with Brad.
No!
We can make it. Jill, ladies first.
Chris!
Would you let me have my moments too?
All right. We'll rendezvous at the heliport.
Come on, Jill. I just spent the entire game in a fucking jail cell. Let me do some cool things. And it's the same in Chris's game, where Jill and Rebecca are following him around. And that's weird, because Jill and Rebecca both kind of have the same uniform color. And Chris is green, Rebecca's green, and Jill's like kind of bluish green. I think it looks a lot better in Jill's, where Jill is bluish green, Chris is green, and Barry's red. Gotta have red, blue, and green. Yeah, convenient that this just happened to be here. Uh-oh, this wasn't in the speed run.
Jill!
You made it!
Surprise? Oh shit. What the fuck? Oh my god, it's a streaker! Shoot him! Ah! Somehow Chris lives. And so here's the fun part. During this final battle here, which I'm going to immediately end. Finally ran out of ammo. So yeah. You're supposed to like... Oh, cool, he knocked it away. You're supposed to get into this protracted firefight until Brad throws down the rocket launcher and finishes him off. But, and during that battle, Barry can actually die. The Tyrant can kill Barry during the final battle there. And the same with Rebecca. So you can have, like, an ending here that's the good ending where the mansion explodes, but Barry's dead. So I think there's, like, 6 or 8 endings of this fucking game that you can get. And a whole bunch of variations depending on what events... Oh, yeah. Yeah! Fuck you. So satisfying. Based on, like, different triggers and events you can get. So, yeah, this game has a lot of replayability. Which is cool. Wish more games... Like, more than you'd think. Like, you could technically play through this game and get, like, a completely different experience the second time around, depending on, like, what cutscenes you get during your run around through the mansion. Even with just Jill alone. Anyway, so, yeah. Finished it off. Really good game. Can't really think of what else to say about it. And... it's exciting. It's exciting to have fucking finished a game while doing this again. Like, there's so few that I've done because, like, so much technical incompetency just keeps making me go, fuck it, and just quit. But now I'm like, like I said at the beginning, I don't have an excuse anymore. I have a mic that's pretty decent. It's really cheap, but it works. It doesn't have the problem that the laptop mic had. And my method of recording's pretty good. Like, all things considered, like, I can... Weird that that cutscene puts her in that outfit while all these other ones have her in her regular outfit during the credits here. Anyway, like, all things considered, I don't really have any excuse not to do this more often. And I might just do so. Like, even some of the problems I talked about before were like, oh, the file size is so big or whatever, like... I figured out just throw that shit into the editing software and render it, and it comes out the other side being like only a couple, like, 100 megabytes instead of 6 fucking gigabytes. So even that, even the problem of like it takes a fucking 2 days to upload this shit to YouTube, you know, whatever, it only takes an hour to render it in the editing software to chop it back down into a manageable uploading size. Yay, Shinji Mikami! Oh, it's gonna be sad because he's not working at Capcom anymore, so he's not gonna have anything to do with the Resident Evil 2 remake. That's depressing.
Jill, you did a fine job.
Yeah, a very, like, solid, you know, if you don't know what you're doing, 7 to 8 hour game. And I was dicking around, you know. So yeah. Great game. Great game. Thanks for watching. I'll go ahead and clear over my old save data. My old clear data. And it's red now because I made it on hard mode. So yeah. Thanks for watching, and I hope we both look forward to you watching some more in the future. I'll see you guys next time.